Good morning. My name is Lana Henson. My pronouns are she, her. I am an older white woman with long red hair, purple glasses, and I am wearing an outfit that is a mix of purple, blue, and green. Welcome to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you in your brokenness and in your wholeness, no matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming. We greet you today with love. A special welcome to you if you are new to the church. Today's service is part of a special series of summer services. Members of our church congregation design and lead these services. So you'll see a variety of topics and people during these summer services. Our customary services start again on August 10th with our new full-time minister, Reverend Kent Doss. We're happy to keep you informed about First Unitarian Church. If you're here in person, you can find a card at the back of the sanctuary where you can share contact information so you can receive our email newsletter. And if you're online, you can find a similar form under newcomers on the website. We're happy to have all our friends, new and old, who are watching us on YouTube this morning. Please introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. I have a few announcements this morning. The Racial Justice Team is holding a book club. This will start on July 13th. The book they're reading is The Fire We Carry by Rebecca Nagel, about the removal of Native peoples. The book is available online. Second, if you would like to join your fellow UUs to go to Juneteenth on the East, we are meeting at the church at 4:30. What date is that? The 21st. I couldn't see you. And we're carpooling over. We will browse the booths and have dinner there and be back to the church around 7 p.m. Again, welcome. And now, sorry, the prelude prepares us for worship. Sorry. We invite Ron Wasson, father, grandfather, and one of the patriarchs of our church to light our chalice. In lighting our chalice, we connect ourselves with many different people, the many Unitarian Universalists across space and time who also light or have lit the chalice, our spiritual ancestors with their dreams, good deeds, and even their failings. We light our chalice in Midtown, Oklahoma City, on land that was home to First Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Marilee Peryam. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman in my 40s, wearing a maroon top and a teal sweater. Happy Father's Day and happy Juneteenth week. I thank you all for being here to celebrate and participate in this service with us. I'd like to do a recognition of the fathers among us today and thank them for all the hard work and love that they put in to the people in their lives. And if we have non-binary parents here today, we would like to include you too. Can I have all the fathers and non-binary parents stand up and be recognized, please? Yay. And stay standing for a sec here. Stay standing. The people who can sit down are the people who are not grandfathers. If you're a father but not a grandfather, go ahead and have a seat. And look at all our grandfathers. Yes. And wait, because you know where I'm going next, is if you're a grandfather but not a great-grandfather, go ahead and have a seat. And let's see, how we got our great-grandfathers? Do we have any great-great-grandfathers? Dex? Oh my gosh! Dex wins. You can sit. You've done your duty, thank you. Thank you all for being with us today, and thank you for all that you do for your families and your communities. And now a Father's Day prayer by Amy Jones. We take this moment to hold space for all that Father's Day may mean to us. We hold love for those who have lost fathers, and for those fathers who have lost children. We acknowledge and hold non-binary, transgender, and cisgender dads in families made of two dads, foster and adoptive dads, and single dads. We hold fathers kept apart from their children by borders and war. We hold fathers and children who have lost connection, children who have been disowned or abandoned by their fathers, and the father figures who step in. We hold those longing to become fathers. We hold those who may be full of questions about their biological fathers. Most importantly, we hold and thank the dads, the papas, the daddies, and all who show up every day to give their all to the children who need them. Let us remember today and always the impact these people have on us as individuals and as a community. And let us remember that this relationship is not one-sided, and that we as a community are called to support and empower the fathers of this world, no matter how they came into their roles, and regardless of their relative successes or failures. Let us raise up their triumphs, and let us have the grace to forgive them their all too human failures. Human relations are complicated. These days of recognition are complex. Please take a moment to breathe in what serves you and breathe out that which does not. And now, we will take a couple of minutes to greet our neighbors and meet somebody new. And when you hear the music, please return to your seat and we will sing number 1012 in the Teal hymnal, When I Am Frightened. All right. That was beautiful. Let's try starting all at the same time. When I am frightened,
Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. The Change for Change partner this month is Hope for the Future, which provides a safe, welcoming, home-like setting where children in foster care engage in court-ordered, supervised visitations and stay connected with their families. At Hope for the Future, the ultimate goal is to support the children and families they serve on their journey to reunite once safety and stability are assured. For those of you who are in the sanctuary with us today, in just a moment, we'll be passing the offering plate. And if you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian. Just write Change for Change on the memo line, or make an online payment through our website, oneuc.org.
Good morning. My name is Becky Talent, and I'm a little old white lady with short hair and a Juneteenth t-shirt on, and Juneteenth earrings. This first part of the reading is from from a book called On Juneteenth, written by a Texas native, Annette Gordon Green. June 19th, 1865, shortened to Juneteenth, was the day enslaved African Americans in Texas were told that slavery had ended, and 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed, and just over 2 months after General Robert E. Lee had surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox. I'm so sorry. Despite the formal surrender, the Confederate Army had continued to fight in Texas until mid-May. It was only after they finally surrendered that Major General George Granger, while at his headquarters in Galveston, prepared General Order No. 3 announcing the end of legalized slavery in the state. After decades of celebrating Juneteenth in their state, Texans have been in the forefront of trying to make Juneteenth a national holiday. It's really a very Texas move to say that something that happened in Texas was of enough consequence to the entire nation that it should be celebrated nationwide. Granger's order did not end slavery in the country. That did not happen officially until December of 1865, when the 13th Amendment was finally ratified by the necessary number of states. But it is significant that Texas was the site of the tail end of the Confederate war effort. As the war had been fought to preserve slavery, celebrating Juneteenth throughout the land is a fitting way to mark the end of that effort. And then this is from an article written by a man named Jonathan E. Biggs in 2021. This year, Juneteenth will arrive the same weekend as Father's Day, and in many ways, the challenges faced by Black Americans after the Civil War are the same faced by Black Americans today. Disproportionate impoverishment, premature death, incarceration, and structural racism that cripples the collective pursuit of happiness. In this regard, what it meant to be a newly freed black man and a father in 1865 mirrors what it means to be a black man and father today, providing for and protecting your family, nurturing your children's sense of self-worth and identity, defying stereotypes, resisting oppression, keeping the faith, and reckoning with the understanding, as Smithsonian Institute Secretary Lonnie Bunch observed, that emancipation is a process that is still unfolding, not simply a day or a moment of jubilee. Bill? Hello. I did.
Going home, on my way to home. Tired and blue, weary too, never more to roam. Friends of old, hearts of gold, fill my memory. No more tears, happy years, waiting there for me. Going home, gentle voices call, and I guess happiness, I am going home. Going home, there's a resting place. When I'm there, I'll greet care with a smiling face. Skies of gray pass away with each weary mile. No more bent, feel content, happy all the while. Going home, all my troubles end, for I'll find peace of mind. I am going home. I am going home.
Please take a moment to bring awareness to your body. I'm going to take you through a little centering meditation that I do almost every day. It's also a handy way to ward off a panic attack. Take a deep breath and let it out as it feels natural. Now notice 3 things that you can see. Just note them, maybe labeling them in your mind. The teal songbook, the color of someone's shirt, the dog hair on your pants. Now take a moment to note 3 things you can hear. Perhaps your breathing, or the ringing in your ears, or birds outside. And now take a moment to note 3 things that you can feel with your body. And finally, notice what emotions or experiences are you feeling internally? Anxious, bored, sleepy, curious? There's a lot going on in the world right now. We remember the conflicts in Palestine, Israel, and Iran. We remember the war in Ukraine. We remember the lawmakers killed in Minnesota yesterday. We remember the millions of our neighbors who are being targeted for their very existence put at risk by our state and national governments. And we remember the joy and hope and determination of 12 million people taking the streets yesterday to say, no more. And now a prayer adapted from William Sinkford. We are a gentle and generous people, but let us not forget our anger. May it fuel not only our commitment to compassion, but also our commitment to make fundamental changes. Our vision of the beloved community must stand against a vision that would allow the privilege of the few to be accepted as just and even holy. Our religious vision must again and again ask, who is my neighbor? And strive always to include more and more of us. As we intone the words that gave birth to this nation, we, the people, we are, and we should be, both a gentle and an angry people. Please join in singing number 131 in the gray hymnal, Love Will Guide Us. The day is July 23rd, 1967, in Detroit, Michigan, 11 years before I was born. My dad has just joined the Army and is out of state at officer training. My mom's at home with my oldest brother, who is 4 months old. She starts seeing reports that riots are happening downtown and a curfew has been initiated. So she takes the baby and goes to her parents' house to stay. Meanwhile, on that same night, my dad's father is driving home to Detroit from Port Huron, arriving very late at night. He had no idea what was going on and drove right through the middle of downtown, seeing overturned cars, cars on fire, buildings being looted, and he felt lucky to make it home safely. My family watched the news on TV as over the course of 5 days, 500 people were injured, 7,000 arrested, 43 people killed, and 400 buildings destroyed. It took my dad 3 days to get a phone call through to my mom to find out if she and the family were okay. This is some of the family lore that I grew up with. Detroit was notoriously segregated, as various laws and regulations wouldn't allow Black people to live in certain neighborhoods well into the 60s. Another story I heard from my mom was about one of the first Black families to move into their neighborhood. The new Black family never mowed the patch of grass between the sidewalk and the street. And when my grandpa asked why, the man answered, it was the city's responsibility and he wasn't going to do it. This example was usually brought up by my mom when talking about problems Black communities had. She seemed to be saying, without directly saying, that they just weren't as responsible or as good citizens as the rest of us. And another family story happened after my dad's teenage sister had gotten into an argument with a Black girl over the softball game in an alley near their house. According to the story, a threatening mob of Black people gathered outside my dad's parents' house in Detroit. The confrontation terrified them, and within days, they moved out of the neighborhood, following the general trend of white flight. Fast forward to the 1980s in Phoenix, Arizona, where I went to private Catholic school run by Irish nuns, and I don't remember meeting a Black person at school until I was in 8th grade. It was during those years that my uncle would come over every Saturday and have a beer or two with my dad. Often, Dad would be watching an NBA game, go Thunder. I remember several times hearing my uncle call the primarily Black players names that I will not repeat here. My dad's way of responding was to stay quiet. He never participated in that sort of thing, but he also didn't speak up. When Martin Luther King Day became a holiday in Arizona, I remember my mom saying, well, he did some good things, but he cheated on his wife and he spit in people's soup. Yeah. So these are some of the stories that shaped how I thought about Black people for the first decades of my life. Next to no real interpersonal experience, and quite a bit of baggage from years past. My parents were loving and kind people, and they absolutely preached to be kind to everyone, regardless of the color of their skin. But a different and confusing message crept through that I've had to reckon with. But now let me change tracks and tell you some of the wonderful things about my dad. His name was Art Kirshen. I still remember the feeling of sitting on his shoulders when I was little, with my hands wrapped under his chin, and the scratchy feeling of the stubble when he hadn't shaved. He died just over 4 years ago, and without a doubt, navigating his hospice and death is the hardest thing I have ever done. Dad was the model of a stable breadwinner for the family. He was an electrical engineer at the power company in Phoenix, and my mom stayed home with the kids. I was the youngest of 4. Dad went to work every day at the same time and came home every day at the same time like clockwork. My mom recounts how lucky she was to never worry about where he was, whereas some of her friends did have to worry about what their husbands were up to after work. In the summers, we'd go camping and do road trips to national parks, and occasionally, if we were lucky, a trip to Disneyland. Dad was good at loving people. When they were dating, Dad knew that Mom got her hair done every Thursday. So he would be sure to say to her every Thursday, "Your hair looks beautiful." Then one week she missed her appointment, and he still said it, "Your hair looks beautiful." At first she was angry because she realized he wasn't really paying attention to her hair. But over time she realized that he didn't really care or notice her hair. He just loved her and wanted to make her happy. He did a lot of intentional acts of love like that. My parents always found a way to love, even when it blew up their worldview. When my oldest brother chose to have children out of wedlock, it really shook my parents. They struggled at how to accept this and how to show love to my brother, his partner, and their children. But they got there, one messy interaction at a time. When I, in my early 20s, told my parents I was going to stop working for the Catholic Church because I was an atheist, it also rocked their world. They felt like they had failed at their most important job as parents. But they kept on loving me, intentionally, one act at a time. When my niece came out as gay, they were not having it. To them, it was an immoral choice. And yet, over time, and I believe through prayer and intention and lots of small steps, they figured out how to love her for who she was, and she felt their love. That same niece didn't come out as trans until my dad was in his last weeks, so Mom didn't tell him. And my dad didn't get a chance to learn to love her for who she truly was. And my mom is still struggling. I think if my dad were still here, they'd be further in the journey, because my dad was good at loving people. Dad was a big part of most things in my life growing up. He taught me to drive, to change my own oil, how to maintain my car. He practiced basketball with me. He had an unguardable hook shot. And in high school, he was at all my basketball games. He was the second loudest parent there. The loudest parent sometimes would get kicked out or get us a technical, so that wasn't cool. My parents also modeled a healthy and intentional relationship for me. They were part of a Catholic group called Marriage Encounter. And as part of that, they would journal to each other every day and then read what they wrote and talk about them. At one point, they had a 3-year streak of journaling and talking about it every day. I was so lucky. They paid for my college, both my bachelor's and my master's. They allowed me to live in a house they owned for stupidly low rent while I was in college. And at one point when I told them I was going to drop out of college and move to a Buddhist monastery run by Thich Nhat Hanh, they listened, consulted, said, okay, but then informed me that if I did that, they would stop paying my health insurance and the sweet rent deal would be gone for good. Love with limits. I decided to stay in college. And when Tom and I were married and our 2 boys were tiny, we got in a car wreck in Fort Collins and totaled the car. As soon as Dad heard, he jumped into his car and drove up to us, a 10-hour drive. He took a Greyhound home and let us borrow his car for months. My parents helped us with the down payment on a house, and after my dad retired, they regularly flew out to see us and play with grandkids. Dad was always on the floor with the kids. I have all these pictures of him on the floor with the boys and with all of them. He was so patient and willing to let them lead and play. He delighted in them. And now let me shift gears again. In the last several years, I feel like I have been on a journey of learning about my white privilege, thanks to this church in large part. To me, acknowledging white privilege means acknowledging that sometimes I get things that I am no more worthy of than others because of the color of my skin. And several times I've had a weird experience. When someone seemed to minimize or deny that white privilege exists, I would get mad. And somehow the anger was for my dad. Like somehow they were insulting my dad or demeaning his gifts to me, which doesn't exactly make sense. How could something be both a gift of white privilege, but also a gift passed from my dad? I had to sit with why I kept feeling this. And ultimately, sitting with that feeling is what got me to do this service today. Because I realized that if you acknowledge that having a dad in the home is a good thing that benefits people, and having a stable home that you own, having 2 generations go to college before you, having a stay-at-home mom, feeling like the world is a safe place, going to private school, being put through college, having a series of safety nets. If all those things are good and help a person get along in life, then you have to acknowledge that when the opportunities to establish those things have been unjustly withheld from a family, or generations of families, that it causes suffering, or at least it certainly inhibits thriving. My dad, along with my mom, gave me all those things. But white privilege allowed them the opportunity to give me all those things. And white privilege allowed his parents to give him those things. He didn't squander that opportunity, and for that I am grateful. He worked hard and made decisions that allowed him to pass these things to me. But what if? What if he had been black growing up in Detroit in the 40s and 50s? Or his father had been black growing up in the teens and 20s? What if his father hadn't been around because he had been in prison or had been lynched by a racist justice system? What if, when my dad got caught siphoning gas out of a car and got arrested, it wasn't just one night at the jailhouse until his parents picked him up? Or what if he got caught one of those times he stole a car and took it for a joyride before returning it? What if his parents hadn't accumulated enough generational wealth to own a home in Detroit, as well as a summer home on Lake Huron, and rather, like most black families there, had been paying exorbitant rent to live in rundown housing? How much would things have been different? What would life be like for me? There aren't really answers, just more questions. In preparing for this service, I'm wondering what ways white privilege made a difference in the life of my dad and grandfather. I started wondering about where they went to college. The University of Detroit, a private Catholic university. I reached out to Dr. Justin Williams, the chair of the Black Studies department there, and we did a Zoom call about a month ago. We discussed the history of black students at the university. I was pleased to hear that the university never did specifically exclude black people. But he quickly let me know that I shouldn't be too pleased about that, because it was definitely an exclusive place. And my dad's yearbook from 1966 shows that out of the 200 graduates from the College of Engineering, only 2 were black. And Detroit was at that time approaching 50-50 split of black and white. Dr. Williams told me about some of the struggles of the early black students and faculty and how much of the progress they made in the 60s and 70s got erased in the 80s and 90s. Dr. Williams also recommended this book, Black Detroit by Herb Boyd. It has been absolutely fascinating to read and to connect the experiences of black people in Detroit with the knowledge that my ancestors were there, and wondering how aware they were and what they thought of it and how they might have participated in it. In addition to reading this book, I've also been doing a little genealogy. I've discovered that my first ancestors moved to Detroit in 1857. So they were there when Detroit was the major destination of the Underground Railroad, where fugitive slaves went from the south, came from the south, sometimes to stay or sometimes to cross the river to safety in Canada. Many did stay and built lives and communities, and when waves of Irish and German immigrants arrived, more of my ancestors, in the decades that followed the Civil War, black people were often displaced from their jobs, as even non-English speaking whites were favored. When Ford and the other automakers started creating thousands of jobs and being willing to hire black people on a regular basis, this fueled the great migration of black people from the south to the north. They could get a steady job in the factories, but they were nearly always relegated to the hardest, low-skill jobs, no promotions, low pay, continuing well into the 60s. And then in the 60s, urban renewal demolished black neighborhoods for freeways, and automation in the factories further reduced job opportunities. That night in 1967, when the riot started, a large group of black folks had been celebrating the return of soldiers from Vietnam at an unlicensed bar. I'm thinking it was probably hard for black people to get a license for a bar. The bar was raided, and 80 black people were arrested. While they were being loaded into a series of paddy wagons, an angry mob gathered, and the fighting began. It's interesting imagining that night in the light of what's going on lately in the US, as far as reporting of violent protests and arrests and who's initiating the violence. But I'll leave you to think about that. The riot that became part of my family lore was in many ways a result of the black community losing patience with the slow pace of working towards freedom and equality. And having seen the progress in the Southern civil rights movement, they were demanding change. At the same time, despite the problems of black people in Detroit, they had a thriving community and culture. Motown, music, history, pride. In many ways, Detroit was one of the best places to grow up black in America. I look at what black people have endured in this country, how they've developed a culture to survive and thrive and to continue to struggle for justice. As Becky quoted in her reading, emancipation is a process that is still unfolding, not simply a day or a moment of jubilee. Black people have been doing the work of fighting for justice for a very long time, and the rest of us have a lot to learn from them as we fight for justice and safety for so many right now. Again, I find myself asking, what if? What if my parents had been able to be more curious way back then? What if the way my dad chose daily intentional acts of love for my mom and us kids, he could have chosen daily intentional acts to get to know and love the black community that he grew up with? What if he could have known the black community and loved some of them like he loved me and my kids? That's a tall order. He loved us a lot. Not simply a day or a moment of jubilee, but a process. But he was good at that, at the process of daily intentions and actions to create and sustain love. But he wasn't perfect. None of us are. And I'm left with continuing the work. I've come a long way in loving people who are different than me, but I've got a long way to go. And I think the best way to do it is with lots of individual choices. To do self-care, to get curious, to show up, to start a conversation, to sit with discomfort, to ask questions, to listen, to mess up, to start over, to set an intention, to speak up, to look for blind spots, and to keep recentering in love. That's how relationships are built. That's how community is built. And that's how love is sustained, one little decision at a time. That's what my dad taught me. And we're never done. Let's do it together. Our closing hymn will be "We'll Build a Land," which is number 121 in the Gray Hymnal. This song has the phrase "anointed by God" in the chorus. Now, I personally am going to go ahead and sing the word God, because I know you guys know that I'm not talking about an old man in the sky choosing winners and losers and smiting people. But if God doesn't sit right with you, I encourage you to think of yourself as anointed by this community. We're anointing you or choosing you to do an important job by singing this song today. And if you want, you can sing "Anointed by Us." Thank you.
We extinguish our chalice flame, but not the light of love and community which burns in our hearts.
Thank you all for being here at this service today. Thank you to the racial justice team for helping so much with it. And I hope to see you all on Saturday for Juneteenth, meeting here at 4:30, like Lana said. And now a prayer by Jim McGraw. Go in peace. And when I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease and comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace, seeking justice. I mean go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, authentic joy, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace.